top accolade global news update. I am Soibifa Jackrich. The launch of a Chinese satellite that flew over Taiwan, prompting an erroneous air raid alert, sparked a political storm on the island on Wednesday about China's motives only days out from presidential elections. Taiwan's presidential office said it did not consider the launch of a Chinese satellite whose rockets flew over southern Taiwan an attempt at interference ahead of the poll, but the main opposition party questioned why the alert was issued. On Tuesday, the government issued a mistaken air raid alert after the Chinese rocket carrying a science satellite flew over southern Taiwan, an altitude of more than 500 kilometers, that is 310 miles. The defense minister later apologized for the wrong translation in English, which used the word missile. Taiwan's presidential office, responding to questions on whether it considered the satellite launch election interference, said it did not think there was a political motive, while the rocket launch sparked an erroneous air raid alarm. Taiwan, which China views as its territory over the strong objection of the government in Taipei, has repeatedly accused Beijing of trying to interfere in the vote, whether via military, political, economic, or other means. China has labeled those allegations dirty trick. The ruling party presidential candidate, Len Ching-te, supported the Taiwan Defense Ministry publication of a chart showing the flight path of the satellite crossing over southern Taiwan. China made 2 satellite launches on consecutive days in early December from a launch site in Inam, Mongolia. Neither of those had flown over Taiwan or triggered an alert. Jonathan McDowell, an astrophysicist at the Howard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics, who tracks space launches, said the first stage of the rocket landed well inside China and the second stage flew over Taiwan at a height comparable to that of the International Space Station. After her younger brother was killed in November fighting Russian forces in eastern Ukraine, Anna Bezos spent days stricken with grief. Then she sprang into action, penning a petition asking President Volodymyr Zelensky to award 29-year-old Bogdan Koto the highest military honor, Hero of Ukraine. A portrait of the combat medic smiling hung beneath a fluttering Ukrainian flag that featured his Interior Ministry unit insignia. Bezos' petition is one of the least 2,000 submitted, usually by a relative or a friend, since Russia's February 2022 full-scale invasion, calling on Zelensky to honor a fallen soldier with the award. Fewer than 400 service members have been named Hero of Ukraine since the war began, many of them posthumously for valorous acts such as helping thwart enemy advances. The petition, introduced in 2015 as a platform for popular appeals to the president, are not a formal part of the nomination process for the award, which was established in 1998 when Ukrainian troops were fighting a lower intensity insurgency by Moscow-backed separatists. Appeals were registered sparingly. Now, new petitions appear almost daily from grieving widows, mothers, and children, first on the president's website, then splashed across social media, and have become a common ritual in a war that has rallied the nation but show no signs of abating. They offer a window into the collective trauma Ukrainians are living through and underline how virtually every soldier who is killed in battle is seen as a hero for helping to defend the country from invading forces. The government does not disclose its losses, but Western intelligence services have estimated that tens of thousands of Ukrainian soldiers have been killed. For private equity investor Imad Gandor, changes in Saudi Arabia's law are prompting a rethink, and his firm may buy, for the first time, minority stakes in the kingdom's companies. It is exactly an effect the country's leader are aiming for as they seek to woo billions of dollars in new capital to win its economy of fossil fuels. On December 16, the United's first written civil code came into effect, replacing a system where judges would have full discretion in ruling on commercial dispute using Islamic law, Sharia, as a guidance. That created uncertainty for investors like Gandor, who until now would only invest in majority stakes in Saudi companies. The new framework allows us to protect ourselves better and more predictably than under the old law, said Gandor, co-founder and managing director at Cedar Bridge Capital Partners, which has over $140 million in assets in Europe and Middle East. The new civil transactions law is part of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 reform plan, pivot its economy away from oil and gas. US drones and UK forces shot down 21 drones and missiles fired by Yemen-based Houthis on Tuesday into the southern Red Sea towards international shipping lanes, said. US Central Command said there were no injuries or damage reported, adding that this was the 26th Houthi attack on commercial shipping lanes in the Red Sea since November 19th. Iranian-backed Houthi militants have stepped up the attack on commercial vessels in the Red Sea in protest against Israel war in Gaza. Various shipping lines have suspended operations, instead taking the longer journey around Africa. The Houthis have vowed to continue attacks until Israel halts the conflict in Gaza and warned that it would attack US warships if the militia group itself was targeted. US Central Command said 18 drones, 2 anti-ship cruise missiles and 1 anti-ship ballistic missiles were shot down by the US and British forces. Sanofi is hoping that by sponsoring the Olympic Games, it can attract new talents, reward existing staff, and shake off the French drug maker's conservative image. The 2024 Games has gained other new partners from the host nation France, including luxury goods giant LVMH and supermarket group Carrefour. Sanofi, which some estimate is spending tens of millions of euros on the Paris Games, says it has sometimes struggled to convince prospective young data managers and data scientists that a pharmaceutical company is a cool place to work. The median age of Olympics viewers is rising, data firms has said, and the International Olympic Committee has been trying to drug up Gen Z and millennial interest through social media campaigns as younger audiences move away from TV and by introducing newer sports such as breakdancing and skateboarding. Sanofi is financially supporting 14 individuals in Paris, including British Paralympic swimmer Ellie Charles, in a team compromising an equal number of men and women and an equal number of Olympic and Paralympic athletes. Olympic sponsorship fee alone are between 80 million euros, that is $87.5 million, and 150 million euros. French media reports have said. Nick Blancain, head of strategy at branding agency Imagination in London, said Sanofi is likely to be looking at its expensive sponsorship through several lenses. This includes how it could change the way consumers perceive the company, how it could attract the business customers through hospitality programs, and how it would widen its appeal. That is the size of top accolade global news update. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy Wednesday.